Hey everyone, it's Mr. Smith. I'm just going to show you a couple examples here. I'm just writing with my fingers, so please excuse me if it's a little bit rough to see. Continuing from our example yesterday, I've got 2x minus y equals 1, so that's where I'm going to start. The problem here is that y is not by itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move y by itself by adding y to this side. And I'll add y to this side. My y's cancel out, and I'm going to have 2x, 1 plus y. So now I'm going to move my 1 over, minus 1, minus 1. My 1's cancel out. And so on this side I have y equals, and that would be 2x minus 1. So that's a good start. I'm just going to flip around so it looks like the way we expect it to be y equals 2x minus 1, or y equals mx plus b. So that's good. I'm pretty happy about having it into slope intercept form. So now I'm going to draw my table of values that I talked about yesterday. I wonder if I can get this pen tool to go away. There we go. So I'll draw my table of values here. Try to give myself lots of room. There's my x values. We'll do this for negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. It's going to get hard near the bottom for me because my finger will start interrupting with some of the menu tools. My equation or expression is y equals 2x minus 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute in. So I'm going to do y equals 2, and I'm going to substitute in our x value from over here. So that's y equals 2, bracket, negative 2, close bracket, minus 1. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. Barely fits. So that's good. I put those two together to make my ordered pair. So that is what I have to put together next to kind of get everything to look good and be, so I'll write negative 2 comma negative 5. I'll plot that after. Okay, now we'll do this again. So y equals 2, negative 1. Where did I get negative 1 from? From over here. Minus 1 equals, I gotta space that out a bit better. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. I'm hoping that this is making sense to you guys. That was a terrible bracket. Sorry, it's very hard to draw with my finger. Negative 1 comma negative 3 close bracket. That's good. 0, we can use our trick of using the y-intercept. And we can also see if that abides or plays nice with our pattern. We're going up by 2 each time, so looks good to me. 0 comma negative 1. That's awesome. And then for 1, it looks like we can continue our pattern. Our next stop on the pattern should be positive 1 if we're going up by 2 each time. You'll notice we're going up by 2, up by 2, up by 2, and the next one should be up by 2. Oh, I pressed a different button there. Hope that didn't change anything. So that should be, terrible bracket there. That should be 1 comma 1. And I can't fit it in because I've run out of room on the bottom, but my last point should be 2 comma 3, which would be my point for right over there, but I just don't have a lot of room on the bottom. So next I have to plot my points. It's going to be tricky for me because I'm using my finger, and you guys know how well it works with Pear Deck, so I'm going to try my best here. I'm going to plot my first point, so I'm going to plot this point first at negative 2, 5. I'll use green to do that, so negative 2 is right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be right around there. It was my best try. Sorry if I'm like horribly missing. And then negative 1, negative 3, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Oh, I missed by a bunch there. Undo. See if I do better. I wish I had my stylus with me. That's good. And negative 1. And an unbelievably linear pattern is going to emerge. It's so beautiful. Oh, what a nice beautiful pattern. And then 2 comma 3, and that looks good. And then you would take your ruler and draw a straight line. I wonder if I have a straight line tool with this app. Let's see what this does. Do I get straight line tools? No straight line. Okay, I can't draw straight lines with this. Do you want me? I'll try to freehand one in red. Christmas theme. Not bad. This is terrible. Okay, I'm just going to pretend like it never happened. Okay, my next. So, again, I've got another expression. I've got my expression here, not in y equals mx plus b form. Curses. How could we do this? Well, I'm going to make it a little bit simpler than last time. I'm going to subtract x. Now I'm going to subtract x. My x's cancel out here, and I have y equals 5 minus x. So we're not quite in y equals mx plus b form. So what we got to do is we've got to take this and rearrange it. Alright, I hope I'm recording here. I just had to press pause there. So I have things in the wrong order. I have y in the right spot, but I don't have my mx plus b. So the nice thing you can do is, as long as you follow the rules you knew from before, and if you move the term and you include the operations, that would be negative x, and then there's my other term right here is positive 5. I now have it in y equals mx plus b form, which is our goal. So I'm just going to erase those yellow lines. Next, I draw my table of values. I'll give myself a little bit more room than last time, just so I can kind of do a bit better. That's not bad. My x values of -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 are here. I would fast forward here, maybe make it double speed, so this is less painful to watch. Y equals, and then be careful here, I go negative, then I substitute in -2, because you have your negative sign right there, and this is -2 that you're substituting in, so be careful there. Plus 5, so if you have -2, two negatives touching, it becomes a positive. So that would be, I believe, 2 plus 5, which gets me to, jeez, come on. That would equal to 7, and so my point would be -2 comma 7. That's a good first point, so I'm going to take a second and repeat that again for my next point with -1. So I'm going to go y equals negative, substitute in -1 from right here. Try to draw things a little bit closer together. Oh, that's good. Plus 5 equals, okay, so negative times a negative is positive, so that's +1 plus 5 is 6. That should be an equal sign right there, so it looks, oh, that's such a mess. Sorry about this, but it's very difficult to write this with just my hand. -1 comma 6, beautiful. Next, I can use our 0 trick and look at the value of b here, and we see the value of b is 5, which seems to follow our nice pattern of going down by 1, going down by 1 each time. So our 0 term would be 0 comma 5, and then we can make a prediction that the next one will be 1 comma 4, and the last one will be 2 comma 3. And then from there we can get plotting our points. I'll start with my first point at 0, 5. I kind of missed. Not bad. I'm missing horrendously, so I'll just try to... Not terrible. I wonder if there's like a dot tool I could use. Ooh, there is a dot tool. Okay, here, let me try the dot tool. Undo, 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 undo. Okay. Ooh, redo. And redo with the bracket there. Okay, let me see if the dot tool works. Okay, let's see how I can do with the dot tool. Boom. Not bad. Boom. The dots are way too big. Let's try and make the dots bigger or smaller. Better, better, better. Oh, yeah, those aren't bad. I'll take those dots as not terrible. Okay, so I have a dot at 2 comma 3. Oh, missed. Not terrible. Yeah, pretty terrible actually. Well, hopefully you can kind of get the idea with where I'm aiming my dots. Not bad. Not bad. You can do this easier by hand. Okay, last example. Really The important stuff is all this stuff down here. Sorry if the graphing kind of sucks. It's very hard to get it precise on the device. Okay, last one. Very tricky one. If it was me, I'd look at this and go, yikes. We've got -10 and 6x over with my 2y, so I'm going to start by just getting y by itself. So the first thing I'll do is I'll add 10 and add 10. I'm just going to change my pen type just to make it a little bit more narrow. So I've got 10 on this side now, and that's 2y plus 6. Ooh, that was not what I wanted. There we go, 6x. Okay, good. I want to move 6x over, so I'll subtract 6x and subtract 6x. And this becomes 2y equals 10 minus 6x. Now, not a good thing. I've got a coefficient next to 2, so let's get rid of our coefficient next to 2. I'll divide by 2, and if you divide one side by 2, you have to divide everything by 2. So it remains equivalent. These 2's cancel out. My new expression becomes y equals 10 divided by 2 is 5. -6 divided by 2 is -3x. We're not quite in y equals mx plus b form. So I rearrange to make it into y equals. Don't forget, this is a whole term right there, so you have to remove the sign with it. So it becomes, or it rearranges to be -3x. And then again, you have to move the whole term, and so that is +5. So +5, and now we have it in y equals mx plus b form. Awesome. So the next thing I need to do is draw my table, and I have used up all my room doing this. I wonder if I can add a slide. Remember that. I'm going to add a slide. Ooh, this is going to get... Here we go. -3x plus 5. Oh yeah, I did lose something here. I forgot my negative sign right here. Oops. Alright, believe it or not, I'm trying to record this again. So here we go. Kind of made a couple of mistakes here. I've made my table of values. I've written in my equation from the last slide. First I'm going to pick some x values. -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Those are a good set of y values, or sorry, x values. I'm next going to substitute into my equation, so -3. I'm going to substitute in the x value of -2, so I go -2, and then I continue with my equation, +5 equals. I then think what's -3 times -2, that gets me to +6. +6 plus 5 gets me to 11, and that means my first point is at -2, 11. I then continue to look and see, or to repeat, and I go -3. I'm going to again substitute in for my x value. My x value is -1 plus 5. -3 times -1 is +3. +3 plus 5 is 8. That means my next point is at -1, 8. I then take a look, and I can use our nice and easy b value. And don't forget that whenever you have an x equals 0, our y value is that b value, so that would be 5 right there. You don't even need to worry, and you can also see, does it follow our pattern? We went down by 3. Hey look, we went down by 3. It's following the pattern, so that makes sense. Our 0 value is 5. I know I'm on the right track. I then can repeat our pattern that is established. 5 minus 3 is equal to 2, so that means our next point is going to be 1, 2. And then finally, if I subtract 3 again from 2, I believe that gets me to -1, and that would mean our last point is 2, -1. I'm going to save you the painfulness of having to watch me graph that and say there's our 5 ordered points or 5 ordered pairs, and now we can take that, graph it, and be able to figure out where our line is. I hope this video has been helpful to help you review on how to rearrange formulas into y equals mx plus b and then determine our table values.